Hey there guys, what is going on? As we usually do at the start of every new season, this is going to be the top 10 best class setups for the Season 6 update in Cold War. Now, of course, this video is not likely to feature the Grav or, of course, the new shotgun, as we haven't actually unlocked them yet. They're a little bit into the battle pass, and we'll get to those eventually. But at the moment, as of the start of the patch, if you've not unlocked any weapons or anything like that, this is probably going to be your best option in terms of class setups. These weapons are still absolutely fantastic. Some did get buffed, some did get nerfed, but there's still really good weapons in this game. Just before we do get into it here though, make sure you do hit that subscribe button with those notifications turned on. I do massively appreciate it, and it really does help me out. Also, if you could take the time to hit that like button for me, it really does help me out with the YouTube algorithm, which is absolutely massive. So let's talk about the 10 best class setups in Cold War Season 6 here. So we are going to start off with the assault rifles here. There's assault rifles, there's SMGs, and I think a sniper on this list, but these are some of my absolute favorite weapons in the game right now. And we start off with the AK47. As usual, this thing is an absolute demon here. We still get that 300 millisecond time to kill value out to about 70 meters or so, which just makes it one of the best guns at pretty much most ranges on most maps. Again, our class setup, as we have presented this previously, is starting off with that suppressor here for that muzzle flash concealment. Basically what this does here, this allows us to live for longer, as good players in this game will hunt down people who fire unsuppressed weapons. Then the barrel here, we do take that VDV reinforced barrel for a 100% increase to our effective damage range, as well as 40% bullet velocity here. This does increase those numbers to, as I said, that's 71 meters of damage range and almost 950 meters per second of bullet velocity. Then the underbarrel, just a standard foregrip here for 15% increase to our horizontal recoil control. Really, this is just all about helping keep us on target here. Again, the AK doesn't have too much recoil as it is, but this just brings it back into line a little bit. Then the handle, we do have that GRU elastic wrap here, or the serpent wrap. This is sort of depending on what you do want to pick here. If you do pick a larger magazine, I would recommend going with the GRU elastic wrap. But if you're not, you just want that aim down sight speed increase of 25%, and you don't want to reduce your shooting movement speed and sprint to fire speed by as much, take the serpent wrap here. And then we do round this off with the KGB skeletal stock here for 30% sprint to fire speed and 40% aim walking movement speed. This allows us to create a very powerful weapon in this game. But as I said, if you do prefer to have a larger magazine, say you're playing a 12v12 playlist, you can drop off a skeleton stock here and you can take any of the available magazines. This is up to you. Continuing on here, we do have another one of my favorite weapons in this game, which is the Fara 83. This is basically just the AK47 2, which is really cool. It does feature again a 300 millisecond time to kill out to about 50 meters or so, depending on your attachments here. And these are as follows. We're starting off with that microflex LED here. I don't really prefer the iron sight on the Fara 83. It's not too bad, but it's not my preference. I would usually like to take an optic on this thing if available. So the microflex LED does allow us a very nice clear sight picture here. Then the muzzle, again, that suppressor for that muzzle flash concealment. Again, this does reduce our effective damage range and bullet velocity, but if we do take, of course, the Liberator barrel, we do get 100% increase to our bullet velocity, taking that number to almost 1400 meters per second, which is absolutely ridiculous for hit detection. Then we go with the magazine. We're actually taking the GRU mag clamp here just to increase our reload speed here. That gives us a reload speed of 1.8 seconds and a larger sort of overall magazine count. This is actually really nice to just a fast reload speed while not reducing your aim down sight speed too much. And then to round this off here, we do have just a GRU elastic wrap here because we are reducing our aim down sight speed with a magazine attachment. We want the most amount of aim down sight speed here, but again, if you don't have a magazine attachment, you can take a stock and then you just take the serpent wrap instead. Now, the EM2 is the next gun that we're taking a look at, and this did get nerfed in the most recent patch, which is actually very good. People have been calling for this thing to get nerfed for a little while now. If we take a look at the stats here, basically this thing doesn't give us a straight up 3-shot kill anymore, but if you do end up getting a headshot, because the damage number is 45 and the headshot multiplier is 1.4 times, you're still going to get a 3-shot kill with 2 body shots and a headshot here. So just keep that in mind. Added a little bit of skill back into this gun rather than just being like falling asleep and just getting easy 3-shot kills. So this is a little bit more skillful now. And we actually start off with the task force barrel here. This is still the most necessary option, and we get damage range and we get bullet velocity. Then the muzzle, as usual, we run a sound suppressor on these things, mostly just to give us that muzzle flash concealment. The recoil on this thing is a little bit more than it used to be, so you might want to consider adding an infantry compensator, so just keep this in mind here. Then the magazine, because this thing does have a 20 round mag by default, a Stanag 40 round mag here is a very nice option, basically just to give us the most amount of bullets to fire. Then we look at the handle, that airborne elastic wrap, again for 30% increase to our aim down sight speed is very nice because we are reducing our aim down sight speed with our magazine attachment. Next, we do have a weapon that did get buffed. I think it was in the Season 5 or the Season 5 Reloaded patch. I can't really remember which one it was, but the FFAR one is actually a very good weapon in this game now. Does feature a 264 millisecond time to kill out to about 15 meters or so you do have to play this like a little bit of an SMG. You got to play at close range, but when you are getting those like very quick kills here, it's actually really nice. Again, the attachments do start off with here with a suppressor, but it's the agency variety this time for 7% increase to our vertical recoil control in combination with that muzzle flash concealment. meaning we do stay off the radar, live for longer, as well as getting a little bit of assistance with our recoil here. Then the barrel, we're actually just taking a reinforced heavy here. You do not want to take the task force on this thing. It makes the recoil basically uncontrollable. But then the reinforced heavy does give us that 15 meters of damage range, as well as almost 800 meters per second of bullet velocity. Then the underbarrel here, we're going for that field agent grip here for 6% vertical and 16% horizontal recoil control. Basically just helps keep those shots on target, which, as I said, can be a little bit bouncy with this thing, but you'll get used to it over time. Then the magazine, because we do want more ammo with this thing, we just take a 38 round mag. Now the reason we're not taking a larger magazine with a faster reload speed is we're not actually taking a handle attachment, so we can't really afford to reduce our aim down sight speed here. And the last attachment is again the Raider stock for sprinter fire speed and aim walking movement speed. Next, we do have a weapon that is a little bit speculative here. I'm not 100% sure if the C58 is going to be any good or not. It does have about a 320 millisecond time to kill again, which is a little slower than some of these other weapons that we have presented, but it's basically just an M4 that fires a little bit differently. Again, this is something that is a little bit of speculation here. You can try this out for yourself, and I actually did quite well with this before the patch, and then they made it a little bit better with some of these attachment options, so just check this out. Again, starting us off here, we do actually have that agency suppressor for 100% increase to our muzzle flash concealment, meaning we just live for longer here. Good players hunt down people who fire unsuppressed weapons, as well as 7% increase to our vertical recoil control. Then we move to that task force barrel for 8% increase to our damage, as well as effective damage range and bullet velocity increases, taking our damage number to 39, I believe it is, but we'll talk about that more in a second here. Then we take the magazine here. This is a very, very interesting attachment. We get that magazine ammo capacity, meaning we can have 60 rounds in the mag, and as well as that, we also get vertical recoil control and horizontal recoil control. Now I know what you're looking at here. You can see this, and it does actually reduce our damage by 8%. Now you look at this again, this still gives us that 39 damage number. If we take this off, our damage number is still 41. Now if you put that into a TTK calculator, the difference between 39 and 41 is actually nothing in terms of bullets to kill, and time to kill is exactly the same. It does increase the DPS overall if you don't run the 60 round mags, but DPS doesn't really matter in this game. It's more about shots to kill and time to kill. So run the 60 round mags because you can actually get away with basically a free attachment here. You get more ammunition for this thing, but you don't have to run an underbarrel. Then the handle, again, a serpent wrap or an airborne elastic wrap here. The difference is about 15 milliseconds in terms of that aim down side speed. So if you want the most, take the airborne elastic wrap, but if you're not really that fast, take the serpent wrap here. And then of course we round this off with the Raider stock here for 30% sprint to fire speed and 40% aim walking movement speed. Again, this is a little bit of a speculative class. Try this out for yourself. I use a very similar class. I didn't have the same magazine attachment. I had an underbarrel instead. But the recoil controlling adjustment that you get from this magazine is actually similar to the underbarrel, so just keep this in mind here. Then we do have the Tec-9. This is still probably one of the best SMGs in the game. You do have to get a headshot to get that 3-shot kill if you are using the fully automatic barrel, but I do believe after the most recent changes to the burst fire muzzle, this reduces our damage range by 33% now, which takes our damage range to about 20 meters or so. This is still probably quite good, but I mean, the full auto repeater is just really, really easy to use. You get that fire rate increase of 45%. Fully automatic fire, a 3-shot kill if you get a headshot. It's still a very, very good weapon in this game. Again, the task force barrel here is the one we want to go with here, as this does allow us to get that 3-shot kill if we do include that headshot, because the headshot multiplier is 1.4 times. If I really wanted to nerf this thing, I'd probably just drop the headshot multiplier down to 1.33. Then the underbarrel, we do have that field agent grip here for 6% increase to vertical and 20% increase to horizontal. Allows us to hit most targets at sort of that medium distance, about 20 meters or so. You're really, really reliable to hit those shots here. Then the magazine, we just want more bullets to fire with this thing, so a Stanag 39 round mag does get the job done. And then of course the handle, we're taking the airborne elastic wrap here for 30% aim down sight speed, because we are reducing our aim down sight speed with that magazine attachment. Moving on, we do have one of my favorite weapons in this game at the moment, which is the ppsh 41 or the ppsh. This thing is still an absolute demon. A 264 millisecond TTK value in this game is really, really nice to hit here. I think that's what it is. I can't remember off the top of my head. But again, it's just a fun weapon to use. That barrel upgrade to that task force, increasing that damage that we get, giving us a 5-shot kill with this thing at 909 rounds per minute is just really, really clean. Then the muzzle, that GRU suppressor, again, that suppressed weapon variety, man. Just, you love suppressed weapons in this game because you don't die as often. As well as a little bit of vertical recoil control as well is necessary, because this thing does have some kick here. Again, in the underbarrel slot, we're going for that Spetsnaz grip for 8% vertical and 22% horizontal recoil control, really allowing us to hit those shots very, very easily with this thing. Then the magazine, because we just want a larger magazine here, we don't want 71 rounds in the mag, reducing our aim down sight speed by 18%. So 55 rounds is enough for an SMG. And then we ran this off with the serpent wrap here, because we aren't reducing our aim down sight speed with a magazine attachment. We can just take a serpent wrap here for 25% increase to our aim down sight speed. Then we do have the AK74U. You already know this thing's good. It has not changed since the most recent patch. You can run pretty much any combination of attachments on this thing. You get that 3-shot kill if you do get 2 headshots and a body shot. This thing kills ridiculously quickly. Again, starting off here, you can take a Spetsnaz combat compensator. You can take a grew suppressor here. It's not too big of a difference here. Basically, you just want a little bit of extra recoil control. Then again, as we mentioned already, the task force barrel does increase that damage enough so we get that 3-shot kill. I think you need 2 headshots and a body shot here to make this count. But again, if you do end up getting those kills like that, it is ridiculously fast in terms of TTK. Then the underbarrel, just a straight up foregrip for just 18% increase to our horizontal recoil control, really does help keep us on target here. And then the handle, again, that serpent wrap for 25% increase to our aim down sight speed, massive increase here as well. And then, of course, the KGB skeletal stock for sprint to fire speed and aim walking movement speed. The last SMG on this list is another one that did get buffed recently, which is, of course, the KSP45, man. This thing did actually receive a buff to its task force barrel, I believe, increasing the damage number. We get 54 damage per bullet with this thing, which I think it was 53 before, or maybe 50? Can't remember off the top of my head. 50, 51, I think it was. Basically, what this does here, this just allows us to get more one burst kills with this thing, and that is what this weapon is about. That is probably why they did nerf the burst fire repeater on the Tec-9. They want this to be the premier burst weapon in this game, and I think this is a very, very good weapon still. Again, that sound suppressor muzzle flash concealment with these weapons is very, very important when you're going on those longer streaks, because as I've said a number of times throughout this video, good players hunt down people who fire unsuppressed weapons here. Then the underbarrel, again, straight up foregrip here for 15% increase to our horizontal recoil control. There is a little bit of visual recoil control when you do add the task force barrel here, so this does help keep us on target. And then the handle, again, serpent wrap, 25% aim down sight speed. And then, of course, the stock, Raider stock, 30% sprint to fire speed and 10% aim walking movement speed. And then we round this off with something a little bit different here. Not an assault rifle, not an SMG. The Swiss K31 is one of the best snipers in the game. Basically just a quick scoping demon. Pull up those sights very, very quickly here. A very versatile weapon in terms of its attachments as well. Again, we want to start off with the barrel here for that Tiger Team barrel. This increases our damage, our fire rate, and our bullet velocity, as well as increasing our one-shot kill zones, which is very, very clean here. Then the body, nothing really to say about the body slot. You can take a Tiger Team Spotlight here, but this does reduce your sprint to fire speed by 10%, which is not ideal for a quick scoping weapon. Again, that underbarrel as well is another replaceable attachment. You can just get those 5% movement speed stats across the board, or you could even switch this out for something like a sound moderator as well. I've seen people use this up close and it's really, really effective for a silent sniper. You do lose bullet velocity here. So again, these attachments are up to you. Then the magazine, this is probably one that you do need here, 8 rounds in the mag. I think it does get reduced by a couple with the Tiger Team barrel, so just keep that in mind. Then the handle, serpent wrap here for 14% increase to our aim down sight speed. Steer clear of the airborne elastic wrap here. This doesn't do what it used to do. And then, of course, the Raider stock here for sprint to fire speed and aim walking movement speed. So again, hopefully this did help you out, guys, and you are getting on your way to having some of the best class setups in the Cold War Season 6 update. We are very much looking forward to testing out the Grav, testing out the 410 Ironside shotgun, because I think they're going to be very, very powerful weapons in the game from what I have seen. I love the return of the Galil in the Grav. Is so I love those iron sights, man. Mwah. Again, thank you very much for watching this one. I do massively appreciate it, of course. If this did help you out at all, make sure you do hit that subscribe button with those notifications turned on, because I very much appreciate it and it really does help me out. And while you're there, you might as well hit that like button as well, just to help this video out with the YouTube algorithm, which means an awful lot to me. So again, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!